Hello, Miss Lahart here, coming at you with Chapter 5 LT2 and a little bit of LT3. So did you guys know that the avocado is not a vegetable? Whoa, shocking. I didn't. Fun fact, weekly review number 9, the blue one, I'm going to have it due next Thursday because there's some factoring on it. That's unfair if we haven't reviewed it. So the blue weekly review is due next Thursday. Chapter 4 retakes are due by next Friday. Please remember to take those. Today we're doing factor by grouping and a little bit of factor trinomials, guys, because I won't be here tomorrow, Friday, or it's up in the air whether I'll be here Monday or not. So I'm trying to put in as much as I can. Like I said, tomorrow during Friday's class, you will take a quick check on everything we've done so far. So here we go. Factor by grouping. Okay. First, we got to start with the structure of it. Okay. Factor by grouping is when you have an even number of terms. Okay. Mostly for algebra 2, we just have to deal with 4. But basically what happens is greatest common factor can be a binomial. So for example, look at number A. We have x times the quantity 2x plus 1 plus 7 times the quantity 2x plus 1. Do you notice how both of them have 2x plus 1 involved? Okay, that is a GCF. I can take that out of there. Taking out the 2x plus 1, I'm left with what? I'm left with what's left in front. We have x plus 7, done. That's now factored completely, okay? 2x plus 1 was the GCF, so we took it out of there. We divided each of the terms by 2x plus 1, and we're left with x plus 7. B, same situation. I have x minus 2 and x minus 2, so those are the same terms. So we're going to take those out of there because it's like a GCF, and then we are left with 5x minus 4. Okay? Again, pause the video if you need to write any of this down. That's done. It's factored. Okay, so now let's take it up a notch. Okay, when we factor by grouping, you must extract the terms by grouping. If you're lucky, what's left is a binomial common factor. So here we go. Let's look at these. So if I look at the first two terms and see what I can take out of there, 3x cubed plus 2x squared, I can take out an x squared. Okay, what am I left with? When I divide both those terms by x squared, I'm left with 3x plus 2. Okay, now I go forth factoring the next two, knowing that I'm trying to get positive 3x plus 2 in the second quantity. I can do that. All I just have to make sure to do is take out a negative 9. When I take out a negative 9 and divide both those pieces by negative 9, I'm left with 3x plus 2. Oh, look, a greatest common factor, that's a binomial. Yep, take it out of there. What's left is x squared minus 9. Now, that is factored grouping. But is there anything else I can do? Do you guys remember yesterday's lesson about difference of perfect squares? Boom. Oh, look, I can take out, that's a difference of perfect square, so that becomes x plus 3, x minus 3. Done. Okay. Next one. We got 18x cubed plus 9x squared. With that one right there, I can take out a 9x squared. When I divide both those terms by 9x squared, I'm left with 2x plus 1. When I look at my next set, I can take out a negative 1, so that gives me 2x plus 1. Factor out the common term, which is 2x plus 1. I have what's left, which is 9x squared minus 1. Now, is there a GCF? Yes, 9x squared minus 1 is a difference of perfect squares, so I can factor it like so. 3x plus 1, 3x minus 1. Okay. Next example, I have x to the 5th plus 4x cubed. I can take out an x cubed out of those two things. Dividing both those terms by x cubed, I'm left with x squared plus 4. Next two terms I can look at, I can take out a positive 2. Dividing both those terms by that, I can take out an x squared plus 4. Common binomial is x squared plus 4. What's left is x cubed plus 2. Okay, I can't go any further. That is not a difference of perfect squares, so that is done. Okay, next one. Looking at the first two quantities, I can take out a 5x squared. That leaves me with x plus 2. Looking at the next two quantities, I can take out a 20. I'm left with x plus 2. Take out an x plus 2. And then the rest is 5x squared plus 20. Am I done? No. That quantity of 5x squared plus 20, you can factor more. I can take a 5 out of both of those. So I'm going to stick the monomial out front, bring down the x plus 2. 5x squared plus 20 divided by 5 gets me x squared plus 4. Done. Okay. Now, when you started that problem, you could have noticed that you could have taken out a 5 to begin with, and then the factor by grouping would still end up giving you the final answer. So there could be different avenues you go down. Always completely factor. Another example, here we go. We can take out a 4n squared. We're left with 8n minus 1. Again, the sign one that you just have to switch the sign always trips students up. I want it to be negative 8n plus 1, so I take out a negative 1. I'm left with 8n minus 1, so that gives me 8n minus 1, and then 4n squared minus 1, which is definitely a difference of perfect squares. So then it factors to give you 2n plus 1, 2n minus 1. Final answer. Go ahead, pause the video, guys, and try the first two examples. This is what would be on the quick check, 1 or 2. So please pause the video and do them. All right, here we go. Factor by grouping, I'd end up looking like this. 5x plus 7, x squared minus 6. I'm done. Can't go any further. That is not a difference of perfect squares because 6 is not a perfect square. Okay. 8x cubed plus 12x, 4x squared. We can take out a negative 1. We're left with 2x plus 3, 4x squared minus 1. So then that's a difference of perfect squares, which is 2x plus 1, 2x minus 1. Okay. All right, quickly go to the packet where it says the factoring of the trinomials, okay? We are only going to do the top part of this page, the easy trinomials, guys, the easy trinomials, okay? Basically, it's all about sign when it comes to factoring a trinomial, okay? What's the sign is the biggest part of it. You're going to have two binomials, and you're going to have to figure out the signs, okay? Here on the left, if the second, you always look at the second sign first, okay? Always look at the second sign because that tells you whether you're adding to get the middle term or you're subtracting to get the middle term, okay? In this case, it also tells you what kind of signs you're going to have. So if the second sign's positive, you know you have the same signs in here. If the first one, you look at the first one to see what they both are going to be because the only way to get a positive number is to multiply a positive times a positive. The only way to get a positive, having a negative here, is to multiply a negative times a negative. Okay, so you look at the second sign. If the second sign's positive, you have the same sign in here. You always look at the first time to see what they both are. Over here, you have a plus and a minus, okay? If your second sign's negative, you have a plus and a minus, okay? So we're going to practice this. So I had the class flip their packet over because normally we would do, and you are either going to write three things. You're going to write a plus plus, a minus minus, or a plus minus. I'm going to show you a trinomial and I'm going to be quiet and then just put what you think it is. Second sign's positive, first sign's positive. So I know they're both positive, positive. I'm going to do a few examples with you. Second sign's negative. I automatically know it's a plus minus. Second sign's positive, but the first one's negative means they're both negative. You ready to go? Let's practice. Okay. I will put the trinomial up. Pause for a second. Write what it is. This one would be a plus minus. This one, second sign being negative, you would have a plus minus. Second one being positive, you would have a plus plus because of the first one's positive. Second sign being positive, first one negative, negative, negative. Second sign being positive, first one being positive, both positive. Second sign positive, both positive because the first one's positive. Second sign negative, both positive, negative. Second sign positive, first sign negative, negative, negative. Second sign positive, first sign positive, positive, positive. Second sign negative, first sign positive, positive, negative. Okay, here we go. So set it up. The only way to get x squared is to multiply an x times an x. The second sign being positive, I know what I have a plus minus. So that's what I set up. I set up my two parentheses. I put my x because the only way to get x squared here is to multiply x times x. Okay, so now here we go. I am looking for the factors of 35 that subtract to give us 2. Think of your factors of 35. 1 times 35, 7 times 5. Ooh, 7 times 5 of our winner. I want a positive 7 right, or I want a positive 2 to end out. So in order to get that, I need a positive 7 minus 5, right? Because plus 7 minus 5 gives you the 2. Second one, second sign's positive, first sign's positive. I know they're both positive, positive. Now I'm looking for the factors of 24 that add to give you 11. That is 8 and 3. Doesn't matter what order. C, we got second sign being positive, first sign being negative means they're both going to be negative. I'm looking for the factors of 22 that add to give me 13. That's going to be 11 and 2. Okay. Factors of 50 that have a difference of 5, different signs, sorry. Factors of 50 that have a difference of 5 would be 5 and 10. Okay. All right, go ahead, try the you try examples. Pause the video. All right, here we go. Different signs. We need factors of 35 that have a difference of 2. Boom. Factors of 32 that add to give you 12 would be 8 and 4. Factors of 50 that add to give you 15 are 10 and 5. Factors of 42 that subtract to give you 1 are 7 and 6. Other than that, that's the lesson for today. Tomorrow, if you're here, you're going to take a quick check. Hopefully that goes well. If it doesn't, you can retake it. Have a great day. Miss Lahart out.